What's happening, folks? Back with another reaction, back with some more Queen. And we're returning to A Night at the Opera, 1975. Thank you again to Michaela. And the next track in the playlist is I'm in Love with My Car, which is both humorous, but of course many people feel that way, and maybe in some countries more than others, the automobile is seen as like an extension of someone's personality, and there are people who spend a lot of time and money working on their cars, adding various, what's the right word? Accoutrements? I'm not sure what the right word is, but yes, there are people who put like ground effects or, custom rims and, who lower their car or who, put new interior or buff up the car's stereo and so on. So as I look at the title here, I'm not quite sure how to take it, especially given the title of the album, which obviously there might not be any direct connection there, but yeah, I do wonder whether this is more about functionality, meaning, a car can give you a degree of freedom or allow you to go places whenever you wish. You don't have to wait for public transportation. You can essentially be your own master and head out onto the open road, and that could be an extension of whatever's going on, like psycho-emotionally. Or if there's a bit of comedy here in it, there's a bit of a like built-in socio-cultural critique perhaps, but yes, again, I'm still very new to Queen overall. Again, I've known a few of their tunes going back to when I was young, and I've now heard a few others in the last few months, but as I said, I'm very limited in my knowledge of their songwriting and, how to take a title like this one. So let's give it a listen and I'll see what I can pick up. This is Queen. The song is I'm in Love with My Car, and it's from their 1975 album, A Night at the Opera.
The machine of a dream, such a clean machine. Hubcaps all green. When I'm holding your wheel, all I hear is your gear. With my hand on your grease skirt, it's like a disease, son. I'm in love with my car.
Piano or the keyboard coming through at the end. That was cheeky. Bit of a false ending followed by a bit of an engine sound. So, okay, first of all, it does feel like there's a both sarcasm or like comedy to it, but also I think some direct meaning. I mean, like he is saying number one, he essentially the idea of it being freedom. He doesn't have to listen to other people. He can just get in his car and he can be himself and do his own thing. And then there's also, I think, a bit of comedy. Like he had to break up with his girl because he'd rather spend the $700 or whatever on the carburetor. So yeah, like it feels in one way like it's being a bit tongue-in-cheek, the idea of being in love with your car and that superseding an actual human relationship or any other human connections. But then again, it does seem like it's a bit real or psychological, the idea of car representing freedom, representing your own space where you don't have to deal with other people's nonsense or listen to them prattle on and try to tell you what to do. So yeah, felt like a bit of both. I do enjoy his vocals, which are they have a bit of an effect on them at some points, and then the guitar obviously wailing away and rocking away for most of the tune. As I said, I heard the piano at the end. There were some like drum flourishes that really stood out. So yeah, dramatic tune. Obviously we had once again those backing like choral style vocals, which I'm already getting a sense, and it's already been indicated to me that that is one of their calling cards. So yeah, a very dramatic tune. Not long, honestly, like 4 minutes, maybe 3.5. In fact, just over 3, so even shorter than I thought. I will say there was a bit of a false ending there because it seemed like it was fading entirely, and then it flourished back, the engine took over, and then that was the end. So even a bit of a cheeky ending to it. So yeah, very cool, and again, I really don't know what to expect, not only with this album, but with their catalog at large. Even though, like, I've heard them a bit, going back a bit recently, and I have a sense of, they're known for Freddie Mercury's voice, and they're known for, the crazy composition of their tunes and so on. Having said that, I'm basically just along for the ride at this point, and I'll just, see what comes, and maybe by the end of this album, once we get to the next one, a more clear picture will begin to emerge. And then, even then, of course, bands, there are bands that evolve and change styles or try different things over time. So I'm looking forward to it all. Thank you again to Michaela. Let me know what you think, and I'll see you next time. Peace.